It is Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. Yes, it is. It is a March. It is a 25. And we are alive. Yes, we are. How is everyone doing? Yeah, how's everyone doing? I hope people start to come on in here. If you're just stumbling in here, like, retweet, invite some people in. This is the Tuesday Shill Share and Shoot Your Shot. I'm just going to get started with the universal greeting and let's get some people in here. If you're in the back rooms of the TG of the Discord, tell them to come on in. Let's get this space going. We want to make sure that we get all our shills and our shots out there, people. But as I always do it, I'm going to take some time to do the universal greeting. And let's hope some more people get on in here. Okay, so let's get it, people. Here we go. Beijing, ni hao. London, hello, top of the morning to you. Los Angeles, hey. Lisbon, hola. Hong Kong, hello. That's right, they just say hello. Sweden, hey. Toronto, good day, a. Tokyo, konnichiwa. And Turkey, merhaba. Turkey, have you gotten your situation all sorted as yet? My goodness, there's so much going on.
Hello.
Hello. Do your thing. Let me see who that is. I'm just getting the universal greeting started, and then we'll get some more people in here. But hello to you, Manny. You're just doing such a great job, Manny. I see you. I see Sadie out there. Hey, I see Top Dev. Good. Let's get some more people rolling in here. And I'm going to finish the universal greeting. And then once we do, let's jump in here. Anyone that wants to, and then you can shill your shot. So this is, my name is Trudy Art, by the way. Yes, I am Trudy Art. This is the Universe wallet. It is an indexer. It is an explorer. It's minting, and it's a marketplace, all on bitcoinuniverse.io. And I'm seeing a little bit of a trend there. Yes, I'm seeing a trend, and the trend can be your friend, let me tell you. I'm going to be shilling some of that trend that I see. But before I do, let me complete the universal greeting. Hey, what is the Universe wallet doing? It's actually unleashing Bitcoin's full potential. Yes, it is. It's making the Universe wallet an all-in-one solution to manage all your assets in one place. You got full support, people. Yeah. You tell a friend, then tell them to tell a friend and tell, and so on and so on. You got full support for BRC-20. Absolutely. Okay. Hope some shillers will come out for that. Dust 20. And I always say 546, baby. That's right. TAP. Oh my goodness. Absolutely support for TAP. One of the first supports went out to TAP. Okay. DMT. Yes. Digital matter theory. UNAT. Absolutely. Those cats be cool, those UNATs, eh? Runes. Peeps, they are not dead. They are not dead. Runes are not dead, okay? LRC20 Lambda. Oh, yeah, that's right. SRC20 and Stamp. Absolutely. Have you heard the protocol that you're going to be shilling for today? And more. Listen, Atomicals is the more. There is support for Atomicals. Listen, before we get started, I always have to say this because we're getting to the power hour here, people, where things are going to pop off. So we got to tell the whole universe of peeps that are coming in, this is not financial advice. You got to do your own research. And I'm being quite serious here. How do you do research? Yeah, people, you got to ask questions. You got to have a list of questions for your research, okay? So depending on the type of investor you are, then you start to build out your questions and then go and get the answers for the questions. And when you invest, remember, in crypto currently, it's all risk. 100% risk. In fact, you can lose all of your principal investment. You need to know that, because if you don't, then you're in the wrong room, people. You're in the wrong room. So know the risk. Okay, I got some questions up. My questions are really important. Absolutely. And I got my little, okay. Hey, couple more minutes and then I'll let you speak. But hang on a second here. I got my first question, okay? 1 second. Okay, that's the water question. Hey, do you have your water ready? Anywhere you are in the world, get a clear, refreshing glass of water. Don't add anything to it unless it's a little bit of electrolytes. That is correct. Maybe add a little bit of lime because we are electric. Sip on your water. Drink your water all day long. It's so important. Hey, and do you have a blood pressure monitor? Get one. People, monitor your blood pressure. So important to stay healthy. And what have you done for yourself lately? I call that a mirror check. Yeah, mirror check. You know what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to probably start getting 8 hours of sleep and not just 6. Not good for you. Okay. Hey, let's open it up and let's see if we can start shilling and sharing and getting some people in here. And let's get it. Who wants to? I see Manny out there. He's just scratching and scratching at the microphone. Manny, unmute yourself. What's going on with you today? Did Manny step away? Okay. Well, if Manny stepped away, that means that I have to continue on. Hey, Low 90, good to see you out there. Let's continue on here. Manny, when you're back, unmute yourself and then come on to the microphone. Maybe Manny is from Nigeria, and he is coming out here, always making himself known. Hey, let's get to the Bitcoin price, and let's just talk a little bit about Bitcoin, and then we have some announcements that we'll want to make. Okay, so Bitcoin looks like it's doing some interesting stuff today. Yeah, it's fighting. It is fighting. People, if you are on the mother chain, the God chain, there's some good news here. Bitcoin is a fighter. Right now at 87,950.72 USD. It's up about 0.56% today. And some really interesting things happening in Bitcoin. Well, interesting things. Okay, just hang on to your socks, okay? Because the headlines are conflicted here. There's a Bitcoin price prediction for 2025. We'll get to that. Technical analysis and geopolitical impacts on Bitcoin. And then there's Bitcoin USD potential for further drop towards support zone. Ouch. Okay, so let me get into the price prediction. So I always like to bring us up to speed a little bit and hop in here if you want to start shilling. I will definitely do some shilling, but let's get into the price prediction. And this will be brought to you today by 99 Bitcoins. That's right, 99 Bitcoins. So Bitcoin down right now. Just after I said it was up, it just moved down slightly, 0.44%. Bitcoin price in 2025 is shaped by technical trends and global dynamics. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the price prediction for 2025, combining Bitcoin USD chart analysis with the geopolitical impacts. Okay, so from critical support levels to regulatory shifts, let's take a look at how all of this will impact and influence Bitcoin. So firstly, the 1-day Bitcoin USD chart analysis reveals Bitcoin's peak at about 108,000 in December 2024, followed by correction of 77,000 by March 2025. The Bitcoin price prediction for 2025 identifies 77,000 as the key support level. So within this article, they're saying we could even see price push down to pink line at 73.5. Yeah, some are hyped up right now, thinking it's just going to be a shoot the shot to the moon. But here's what's being said out there. We could see that drop down to 73.5. Now, the gap identified via these charts seems like it's captured a liquidity zone. So let's say that there's a break. If there's a break below a target of 70,000, a major psychological level. Yeah, it's got these levels that peeps are like, okay, well, if it does this or that, then it's going to creep into the market psyche, and then there should be a lot of wild action here. While a bounce could push BTC to 94,000, the Bitcoin forecast 2025 hinges on this specific support, as Bitcoin chart analysis suggests consolidation. Now, there are some geopolitical factors like the US, obviously, pro crypto policies. There's been a ton of them. Oh, sometimes I think these policies are like the game theory. Oh my goodness. Peeps, just have a plan and stick to your plan. I mean, one minute they're saying this, you're all hyped and excited, and another minute it's like something different, and then you're all in the bear vibes. Stay consistent here because the trajectory of Bitcoin is eventually steadily going to be increasing as really adoption increases everywhere on planet Earth, okay? In the minds of people. That's where it's increasing. Okay, so there could be further influence on this Bitcoin price as we move forward. Now, on the so the Bitcoin USD chart insights shows that Bitcoin at 88,135 March 2025, again down from the 109 in January. And technical analysis of Bitcoin indicates a downward trend with a potential reversal signal at the 77 support. So we're just reiterating some of these facts. That's because we have a set. That's because we have set a new higher lows and higher highs. Though a test of one of those lows could be or not surprising. Okay. So a break above 90 may spark a rally toward 94,000. In fact, I saw a little tweet out there. I really did. Yes, I did. That Arthur Hayes says that Arthur Hayes, very big in the crypto space. Okay. He says that if we crawl up to if we crawl up to 110, we're shooting right up to 250. Absolutely. He can see that happening before the support gets reversed and back down into the 70s. That's right. And I'm not talking the 1970s, people. I'm talking Bitcoin in the 70s. So there's a lot of planning that you may or may not want to do. Now, what does that depend on? The mirror check. Hey, if you are going long on Bitcoin, and if that's your game, then you have nothing to worry about. All of these technical analysis and all this has really nothing to do with you because you're just going to stay long. But if you're looking to play with the Bitcoin and short it and try to scoop up more, then this is the kind of stuff that you're probably going to be interested in. And that's what I mean by mirror check. What kind of investor are you? Okay. What kind of stacker are you? How do you stack sats in the bag? Do you like to play with the price of Bitcoin? And do you like to, as they say, take a dice roll on the Bitcoin? And that's a strategy. There are people that are out here, and they are somewhat very well seasoned. And what they do is they will gamble with the price. And so if they see that Bitcoin is on, a trajectory moving down, they might sell out, and then they'll might jump back in when the price continues to, well, if they see Bitcoin, the potential that it could go down, then they'll jump out and then they'll buy back in even lower, and then they'll ride it up again. Okay. So hopefully you got that information correct and I didn't say it wrong, but they're trying to obviously dollar cost average, and they're looking at the technical analysis and the charts to do that. But if you're just here to buy that Bitcoin and hold it until your chosen exit strategy, then all of this will make absolutely no sense. Okay, that's why I like to do the shill and share, because with the shill and share, we can talk about how to stack sats in a smaller way. Yeah, we can. One of the things that I think is going to be pretty cool, and I'm being quite serious here, is I think an amazing way to stack sats is the art, through the art, and through some of these smaller projects on top of Bitcoin. Okay. And I'm going to jump away a little bit from talking about the Bitcoin price to go into some of the ways that I think you can stack sats, and specifically on the universe. Um, Pay close attention here. Please make sure that you are actually, and I'm shilling now, okay? You are actually following at Bitcoin Unified, because there's information coming out about their copy trading bot. I think this is going to be very, very interesting. Okay. For those of you that want to jump into trading, but obviously you don't know when to get in and when to get out, with the copy trading bot, you're basically copying the trades of those that are considered experts. But remember, experts are human too. So take a look at what they're saying. They're saying, here's a look at the sell swap interface for Bitcoin token. Lightning fast execution in under 2 seconds. That is crazy for Bitcoin, okay? And so they're in the testing phase right now, but people, I think this is pretty cool. So if you have seen that tweet this morning, I think that came out about an hour ago. Good for you. They're testing that with, and that's going to be copy trading bot for runes. So you'll be able to get in and out of trades for dog go to moon or $1 billion cat and all of that. Okay. So I think that is one to watch. The other way that you can look at stacking sats. Okay. Let me see if I got it here. Well, the other way that you can look at stacking sats, there's a ton of different, obviously, airdrops. Keep your eyes peeled for the airdrops, and also keep your eyes peeled for the IDOs that are coming out on the universe. And there's some, let me just go back to the page here and just take a quick look. Get some people out here. My goodness. Okay. So the BRC-20 TAP claim is now officially open. Okay, so if you hold TAP, you can claim BRC-20 TAP. Yeah, that's right. 100% of the supply is up for grabs. So don't miss out. Claim yours now. And there's a link to claim that. So again, if you've got TAP, now that's the actual token, then you can claim the BRC-20 TAP right on the universe. So go over to bitcoinuniverse.io /claim /BRC-20 TAP, and then you can start claiming. Go ahead and get that done, people. Then there's a ton of different claims that are happening here. So hopefully you've been paying attention to that. Hey, Becky, see you popping in here. I'm just kind of back on the page. Okay, so again, we, meaning the universe, they've built a next level BRC-20 claim interface. It's fast, it's seamless, and it's secure. So basically what you'll do, it's a one-click claims for any BRC-20 token, okay? Optionally, no wallet connection needed, and pay fees via any addresses. That is pretty cool. What you're going to do is you're going to scan the QR code or send BTC manually. Very easy, very flexible. Okay, so again, if you have been waiting for the claims portion of any of these IDOs, then there's an easy way that you can claim. Okay, so please go over to bitcoinuniverse.io and then go to claim, go to BRC-20, and then you are going to see a QR code. And then basically you just scan that QR code, and then you can go ahead and claim your tokens. And you can pay the fees again via any address. That is pretty cool. So wanted to share that with you. Okay. Let's see if somebody wants to come out here and chop it up with me just a moment before I do a major shill. That's gonna be my shill. Anybody want to shill anything or share what do you have in your wallet? How are you stacking sats? And hey, Udi Jim, thank you for coming. Let's see. Anybody want to share how they're stacking sats? And how to stack sats and what you should be stacking. I know many of you are stacking the airdrops. Continue to fight for those airdrops. And here's why I would say that. It's really important, I believe, to fight for those airdrops. And here's why. There is coming a day. Absolutely. Hi, who's that? Come on in. Hey, Udi Jim, how are you?
Fine. Good to hear from you.
Absolutely. Today is the Shill Share Day. What is happening with you over there in Nigeria?
Nothing much. Just our usual ups and downs, political issues, and every other thing.
Okay, well, Thursday we got a great show for talking about all of the politics of the world. So today we're just talking about stacking and how to stack, and we're shilling our shots, right? Sharing what's in our bags. And I was just sharing with everybody that if you were a part of those IDOs, then you can actually go and claim your tokens. And there's an easy way to do that now. There's a QR code that the Bitcoin universe has created. So you can scan that and you can just go ahead and collect your tokens. Okay. But as far as what to pick up and get in your bag, peeps, this is pretty serious. Make sure that whatever you do, I know you're collecting airdrops, but I believe the next really big opportunity for stacking is going to be, believe it or not, digital assets. Yes, digital assets, okay, such as art. And I'm going to focus it. I know tomorrow is specifically a stamp show, but I think that stamp art specifically is going to be really big for the future. There are some contests that are actually going on right now, and I will actually give you a heads up. If you go over to at Logic, let me try to find his page, and there's a major contest for one of his art pieces that I think is going to be absolutely invaluable to own. Okay, priceless, really. So go over to at Logic, LOGIK 185. LOGIK 185. Okay, so there's a contest happening right now. And I think there's hours left to actually jump in to that contest. And it's an art giveaway. Okay, it's an art giveaway. This is in partnership with another artist, and the other artist is at ROKER_51. Okay, so go to either of their pages, and then you will see art giveaway. The piece called Freedom, which is by the artist Logic 185. They're doing a giveaway that will happen on March 28th. Actually, oh yeah, there's 3 days still. So basically, you need to do a couple of things, but you can take a look at what they're asking you to do, and then you can win the highest rated stamp of all time on the NSID directory. this is a big deal, and I'm going to tell you why it's a big deal, because scarcity is actually going to be even more valuable in the future. Okay. So they're saying that digital assets are going to be very rare in the future, like these digital assets. So, what am I talking about? Anything that exists only in digital form and comes with a distinct usage right or distinct permission for use. Data that do not possess those rights are not considered assets. So, for instance, in Stamp, all of the artwork is stamped, okay? And so each stamp comes with its own authenticated number, okay? Because they're all numbered. And then these pieces will live forever on top of Bitcoin, okay? On top of what they say is the mother chain, the God chain. So if you're looking at how to store away value for the future, stamp art is going to be one of those places where I believe tremendous value will be stored away. One of the reasons is because stamp is a data storage protocol. It's not only data storage, it's actually immutable data storage. And much of the art, because of the way that it's stored, is called compressionism. Okay. And so compressionism is a contemporary way of creating art. Okay. And in this compressionism style, uh, it's very unique because artists, they are limited to a file size, and the constraints of the file size is what makes the art even more special, because not all artists are able to actually work with these smaller file sizes. And so that increases the rarity. Absolutely, it does. Okay. Listen, watch very closely, because even the AI agent, and you will know him, he's at AIXBT agent. This is one of his quotes. Okay. Um, is this a quote from him? Maybe. Oh, hey, this is not a quote from him, but watch his tweets of late. He's been tweeting specifically about stamp art, the art. Okay. Now, Bitcoin Stamp's Compressionism is, like I said, a contemporary art movement that embraces the constraints imposed by digital file compressionism algorithms as a unique medium for artistic expression. Okay, if you're wondering where to pick up a stamp, because this is a shill and share day, hey, Manny, go right ahead. Go ahead, Manny. You can speak.
All right, all right. GM. True that.
Good rising, good rising.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you completely. Yes, please. Thank you.
All right, all right. So during the week I kind of discovered that you're actually called your name is actually Dimari. Is that true?
Jamari. What's you mean
Dimari.
D Marie?
Yeah, yeah.
D Marie. Okay, yeah, D Marie. Yeah.
Yeah, so that saw that on your Twitter handle.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Right. So you promised me an NFT and I'm here to receive it.
I never promised you an NFT, so that's very funny. How did I do that? I don't do that.
In the giveaway.
Yeah, no, you're talking about a little fun I was doing. My giveaway is something that you can probably reach out to me offline, but it's not for an NFT. It's just a little fun. You have to read what is being said. It's just for fun and it's quirky, but no NFT giveaway as of yet. I did, however, share with you guys that there is an art giveaway happening. There's a contest right now, and if you will go to at Logic 185, they're running a really cool art giveaway. So check that out. And that's free to enter. There's just a couple of steps. I think you have to follow them, follow their Discord, and then you can be in the running for an art piece giveaway. But to be clear, everyone, I do not do any NFT giveaways. But that's cute. That's cute.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Okay, and I appreciate you. Appreciate you lots, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, keep is there anything you want to shill, by the way, Manny?
Nothing for now. Nothing for now.
Okay, if there's something that you want to shill, then come and shill, because this is the shill and share day today. So there's a ton that's out there in the Bitcoin space right now, that a ton of ways really to stack sats and get ready. I actually arrived in 2023 a little bit late, but I can tell you that the entire Bitcoin ecosystem was just on fire, people, on fire. It was so difficult to get into anything Bitcoin related. Everything was, there was a lineup, the mempool was clogged. The minor fees were just ridiculous. So really today is the time, if you're thinking that you want to start stacking sats, today is the time to figure out how you're going to do that. Everything costs something. So if you are going to take your time and your energy, then that could be one way that you can get into the next big wave that's coming to Bitcoin. So you can pick up the available airdrops, and you can see that the universe has plenty of those airdrops. And again, I will caution everybody that these airdrops are basically, they're basically your time and energy. And I say that because you're also going to need to be the one that starts to shill and share. If you notice how Bitcoin works and all of crypto, there are no TV commercials as of yet. If you go to your television, the most that you will see is maybe a Bitcoin commercial. And that's because Bitcoin is becoming the chosen of all of the tokens on top of crypto as mass adoption tokens. So there's money piling up behind Bitcoin. So you're going to turn on your TV and you're absolutely going to see commercials about Bitcoin. Okay. But all of the other coins, all of the other crypto, there's really no TV commercials. Okay. And TV commercials are what gets us to start buying things. That's really the only reason for television is commercials. They're not the shows. The shows are just an excuse to do commercials. If you're in the, I'll just share a little bit of how it works in the television world. TV shows are created, but then they're sold to studios, and then the studios make a decision if they're going to buy the shows. And then once they buy the shows, they sell the shows to advertising. Okay. And then the advertisers, the products that are out there like Coca-Cola, Nike, they'll buy spots. And really, the show is just an excuse to get your eyeballs there, but they're really there to sell you something. Crypto doesn't have that. So when I say that those airdrops are for free, they're not actually for free, because you're actually spending your time and energy to collect them, number one. And then number two is you have to become the commercial for the airdrop tokens. You have to actually get out there and hustle. There's a ton of spaces that are happening daily. And on those spaces, they're shilling. Yeah, they're shilling the tokens that they have collected. They're shilling the tokens that they believe in. So at some point, as you're collecting, you've got to make a decision. Okay, how do you want to start sharing this stuff? Because Others don't know about the token. Now, let's be clear. Some people, they say, oh, well, does that mean more people need to come in so that my tokens will go up? It's not about more people coming in. It's about more people understanding the value of Bitcoin. These aren't tokens on any blockchain. These aren't tokens on any chain. You're getting tokens on top of the mother chain and the God chain. Okay. So you're getting a little piece of Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is already being taken over by governments, by Wall Street, and by major Fortune 500 companies. And Bitcoin, because it has that much money behind it, it's going to get to a place where it's actually unreachable, untouchable. There's many different forecasts that are coming that Bitcoin is going to $1 million in 5 years. That's a big deal. $1 million US. So translate that in your own currency, okay? So within 5 years, they're saying that Bitcoin will be $1 million. What does that mean? That means that anything that's in Bitcoin is going to be impacted by that price increase. It will be impacted, right? So it's up to you to try to figure out, how do you get a piece of Bitcoin? That's why the shilling and the sharing is specifically for the Orange family. And as you know, when you come into Bitcoin, there's many different protocols. There's obviously there's runes. And I don't know if any of you have etched runes, or if you've minted runes, or if you have bought runes. But runes is one of the ways that you can actually stack sats in Bitcoin. Okay. There's TAP, and there's a ton of opportunity in TAP. Okay. So I'm saying, the tokens that you've been collecting as airdrops, they're all TAP tokens. And they, in my opinion, are not for free, because your time and energy is how you actually get those tokens. And so as you're collecting the tokens, you do have to start thinking about, how are you going to share with more and more people that they can also have this opportunity to also collect these tokens, because marketplaces are coming for these tokens. We have like an over-the-counter marketplace right now where you can actually sell your TAP tokens. So if you're collecting and you want to sell them, you can actually inscribe them and then list them on bitcoinuniverse.io, that marketplace. Okay. I see some listings already here. Now, as people are listing them, who's going to buy them? Well, how many people know that they're here? Okay, how many people know that they're here? I mean, the Universe wallet has been around for 12 months. The wallet users are growing. Okay, and the reason why it's growing is because there are people sharing with others that, hey, there's this opportunity. So as more and more people find out there's a way to get into the Bitcoin ecosystem and actually stack sats, that's when you're going to see potentially the power of collecting these airdrops. So hopefully that kind of makes sense to you, that you are a part of the driver of how these projects, of how these tokens will perform, because you're going to need to share this opportunity with other people. Just like they did with Bitcoin. In 2009, nobody knew about Bitcoin. But actually, I can tell you right now, because it's happening to this day, there are people that meet on a weekly, and they'll meet in coffee shops out here in North America, and they just meet to talk about Bitcoin. And then they'll bring somebody new, because they're telling them about what Bitcoin can do for them. And Bitcoin isn't just like a token. Bitcoin is a way that we can peer-to-peer trade with one another. So I can trade with people in Belgium. I can trade with people in Vancouver. I can trade with people all across the globe directly through Bitcoin, people. So this is why I think that the shilling and sharing day is so important. And I think it's important that we all understand that we're part of the shilling and the sharing. But it is also very, very exciting. Okay, so it's very exciting. Okay, so back to the art. Now, please, please make sure that you consider picking up some stamp art or picking up any art on top of Bitcoin, even ordinals. Yeah, even ordinals. Okay. And why do I say even ordinals? Ordinals are absolutely popping off. But if you're in stamp, the stamp protocol makes a claim that ordinals can be pruned, meaning that because the ordinals art is stored in the witness data, that specific data can actually be removed from the blockchain. And they would have to have consensus in order to do that. And why would they do that? Well, that's because, of the reasons that they've told us in past. The blockchain is run by the miners, really, the miners across the globe. And there's very large mining firms, and one or two of them have they haven't been excited about all the art that's coming onto Bitcoin, and they call the art spam. And so they have done in past a little campaign to try to remove the art, and they would be able to do that with ordinals, but they can't in fact do that with stamp. So that's why the stamp people are actually believing that they're the best place to buy art. However, the likelihood of these miners biting off their hand, because they make massive fees. Okay, every time art is bought and sold on the Bitcoin blockchain, they're making really good revenue. So it's highly unlikely that they're going to do that. Okay, so I would look at picking up ordinals as well. Now, where can you pick up some ordinals art? Well, go over to Magic Eden. Okay, go over to Unisat, because that's where you're going to pick up that art. But look at the entry level for some of the top projects. It's astronomical, people. Okay, like I was looking at Based Angels, in fact, because that's a pretty big project. So let's take a look at it. Based Angels, who's heard of that? Okay, so Based Angels. Does anyone know what they are? Let's tell you a little bit about them. Okay, so Based Angels, it's a collection. It's there's 5,555 recursive PFPs. They're inscribed on, obviously, the mother chain, the God chain. They were inscribed in May of 2024. And the collection is inspired by the aesthetics and fashion of the 2000s to the 2010 through the lens of nostalgia, challenging it into channeling it rather into the modern Bitcoin technology, with orange hair as a symbol and the main color of the Bitcoin blockchain. So these Based Angels right now, they are priced, they're priced quite high. Let me tell you what they're priced at. I have to tell you though, in Bitcoin, most of the people are very wealthy. Actually, they're not bad. They're priced at $440 USD, $440 USD, so 0.005 BTC. Okay, so you can still pick them up, because I will tell you that some of these have gone for as high as let's see, 0.0. Oh yeah, okay, 0.025 BTC. 0.025 BTC. As the NFT side of things picks up, you're going to see these collections start to move. So if you can get in on some of these collections today, I'm just picking out one of the ordinals here, which is the Based Angels. But my focus would also be on the stamp art. So if you want to pick up stamp art, you go to bitcoinuniverse.io, and there's about 8 pages of different collectibles. Okay. For instance, there's a really nice piece right now, stamp 937448. There's actually 4 left of them, and they're only for 0.002 BTC. And that is a collection done by HNFT Pepe. If some of these entry levels are still out of the way for you, because I know that a lot of people are trying to stack the tokens first, then take a look. There are some stamps with lower entry levels, because I know for some that have just arrived, they're thinking, well, that's maybe too much for me to get into right away. So let's take a look. Oh yeah, this one looks good. Stamp 290198. Again, this is, I'm looking at bitcoinuniverse.io, the marketplace, and then I'm clicking stamp. And then I have, I'm on page 2 of all of the listings, and I'm looking at stamp 290198. It's actually a Pepe. Anything Pepe related will have, I think it'll have hold its value, because Pepe is a big internet symbol, and it's a big meme. And actually Pepe the Frog, the coin itself, is popped off in a big way because it is beloved in the internet space. So I think picking up some of this Pepe art will be pretty cool. And I'm kind of liking stamp 290198. Now, again, why the rare art? Well, Elon Musk has said that with the rise of AI, okay, people, with the rise of AI and with the rise of humanoids, okay, robotic humanoids, that there will be a shift in the economy. And some of you are not going to like to hear this, but what will the shift be? A lot of the jobs that the humans that we have now, actually these robotics, these humanoids, and AI will be able to take these jobs over and do them more efficiently. Once they start to mass build out the infrastructure for all of the robotics, initially the cost will be great, but over time, through cutting labor costs, because there's, outside of maintenance, they don't have to pay wages to these bots. There's no health care that they have to pay. There's no payroll taxes. So you can see why many large firms, many large companies would be very interested in what Mr. Musk and a lot of Silicon Valley are doing behind the scenes right now. They are building a workforce that will actually eventually and gradually, and unfortunately in some cases, take over the positions that we're doing. As a result, they are believing that this should create an abundance of wealth. Now, how will that wealth be distributed? Well, we're not quite sure yet, but they're believing that the wealth that is created from the takeover of AI and so forth will trickle down to the masses. Now, initially, the wealth will be created with the calculating the financial metrics. So in each country, they will calculate their gross domestic product. Okay, so the goods and services and the labor, and they calculate that on an ongoing basis to kind of set the pace for the financial markets. Well, with robotics, you're going to have a very strong GDP. And Mr. Musk believes that this is going to increase the wealth of many nations across the world to the point where money may get to a point where it's redundant. Okay, the value of money will change. So then he is saying that the only things that will produce tremendous value and scarcity will be art, unique art, digital assets, and NFTs, all of the stuff that we were first introduced to once crypto started booming. All of those NFTs that you may or may not have in your wallet, hang on to them because they're going to come back in a big way. Now, if you're going to look at the most rare of all of this art, all of these NFTs, then you're going to have to come over to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is a limited supply. Bitcoin's only 21 million. So every time you create art in Bitcoin, you're tapping into that 21 million. In every art piece that was created, the artist had to attach sats to the artwork. So that artwork contains Bitcoin. So believe it or not, a lot of that 21 million is moving into the art and will remain there forever. It's almost like it's burnt into the art. So owning pieces of art on Bitcoin then becomes even more valuable. And that's why I think while no one is really thinking about this, I think that this is the time to start looking at how to get into the art. Have at least, I would say, if you can, a dozen pieces. Over time, a dozen pieces. And if you don't have the ability to get some of the artwork, then start hunting for the giveaways. And like I said at the top of the show today, I shared with you a very big giveaway. I am not doing any NFT giveaways. I don't know how Manny thought of that. Manny, my goodness, Manny, you got to read what I'm writing, okay? You got to read what I'm writing, sir. I'm very good at writing, okay? So I know what I write. I'm not doing any NFT giveaways. If that ever changes, then I will share that with you. But there are many out there. So that's why I want to bring your attention to it today. Yeah, so go and have.
Yeah, I get that.
What's that, Manny?
I said I got that.
Yeah, very good, very good. Are you going to enter into that giveaway for Logic's Pepe art?
The thing is, I'm currently on transit right now, so I'd love if you can actually list them. If you can list them in a post or a thread, I really appreciate.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll tag you on that too, eh? I'll tag you on that too. By the way, this is off topic, people. This is really off topic, but keep your eyes on what's happening here. There's a ton of stuff happening in the world that is going to transfer back to crypto. 23andMe. Did you guys see that today? What's happening with 23andMe? Yeah. Okay. So 23andMe is going into bankruptcy. Yes. And that's the DNA testing firm. And they've filed for bankruptcy. And so what does that mean? Well, first of all, if they're filing for bankruptcy, that means that the there's potentially a lot of maybe there's more coming. That's one thing. That's one thing that it could mean. But it also means that if you were doing a part of that 23andMe ancestry registry, then they started about 8 years ago, and I think Oprah Winfrey was a big proponent of that. People were handing over their DNA, and now their DNA is probably going to be sold off to the highest bidder. And so you may want to check into that. Okay. Hey, everything ties back to crypto. Everything ties back to crypto. Okay. Because information is power. And so now, because they're going bankrupt, that means that there is going to be a sell off of their assets. And let me tell you, there will be a lineup waiting to buy that database. Okay, what word did I say? Database. Okay, for 23andMe. Bitcoin, people, is also about data. But Bitcoin, people, cannot go bankrupt. That's right. Bitcoin can't go bankrupt. Why? Because we are the unit holders. We are the shareholders of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin won't be lining up for a bankruptcy filing. If Bitcoin goes down, there'll be people in the lineups waiting to get the Bitcoin. But keep your eye on some of these developing stories, because as we're seeing one company fold, will two companies fold, three companies fold? Will this be a cascade of dominoes? And as this dominoes happens, then what does this mean? Okay. Well, as I'm seeing and as we're seeing, the interest rates of the major economies, in particular the U.S., a lot of people are waiting for, you know, the Fed to decrease the rates. And if we start seeing, you know, a lot of these closures and a lot of pullback within the financial system, then those rate cuts could come into being. And then once those rate cuts happen, that means money printers go brrr. And when those money printers go brrr, then that's coming right back to the mother chain, the God chain, the Bitcoin. Keep your eyes on all of this.
All right, all right. So, can you hear me?